Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another video. This is actually the second video, even though it's been a little bit of time in between. But here we have Hydro Man from the Spider-Man Wave 12 Marvel Legends. This is the Molten Man Build-A-Figure, the Far From Home wave, whatever you want to call it. Here's Hydro Man. I found this guy at Walgreens. There are 8 Walgreens here in my town. I went to all 8 and I found this at the 4th Walgreens that I went to, and the other 4 Walgreens had nothing, and I went to a 9th one just to be on the safe side and check to see because I didn't want to miss my chance. And literally, out of all 9 stores, this is the only figure that was new that any of them even got. So, dang, right? So, one thing that's interesting, and I noticed this, and I'd never noticed it before, but this actually looks like a blue color and not black. Not a big deal in any way, but it's, you know, a little bit of a color change, different packaging, but pretty cool. So we see Hydro Man here at the bottom, Spider-Man logo. Up at the top it says Molten Man. We get a spider logo up there as well. Here you see we have Hydro Man artwork on the side looking pretty menacing, but you know, that artwork and that face doesn't look the same, but this really reminds me of Willem Dafoe. You know, he played Green Goblin in the first Spider-Man movie. That looks just like him. It's crazy. Anyway, so here, look on the back of the package, we get that same artwork, all the figures in the wave to complete the Molten Man Build-A-Figure. And looking at that thing looks okay. It's going to be kind of weird. We'll have to see how it looks in the movie. Let's get right to and check out that bio. And based on the color and everything that they do, this package is actually kind of hard to read. But anyway, Hydro Man. Knocked into the ocean by Spider-Man during the testing of an experimental generator, Morris Bench gains the ability to transform his entire body into water. Very interesting. It's nice that we get this comic version of Hydro Man, because I don't think the movie is going to do Hydro Man any justice, because, I mean, we shall see. But again, my thoughts on that, my prediction, my theory is that Hydro Man and the rest of the elementals will only be some kind of illusion by Mysterio and not actually be real. I think it's kind of a waste in a sense for a villain, but, you know, let's be honest, would Hydro Man ever hold his own in a movie? More than likely not. But anyway, we'll see how it is. I'm sure the Marvel Studios and Sony will do a great job with it. There's the UPC for you guys. Let's open Hydro Man up. Okay, and here is the Hydro Man figure out of the package, and overall it is a good looking figure, but that's actually pretty much all it is, just a good looking figure. It's very limited articulation. Well, the arms are very limited in articulation, let me put it that way. We've seen, for the most part, this body use, so the legs and the upper torso have been used on the Luke Cage figure, the MCU Netflix Luke Cage that we saw in the 2-pack with Claire Temple. That was Walmart exclusive, then turned into a fan channel exclusive, and then included in the Defenders Comic-Con box set last year, Luke Cage. So that is the same figure, same torso, same legs. Obviously the arms are different, but that's, you know, that's really the only thing. Now the figure again looks very good because you have the water effect for the arms and the hands, and then you get those added on pieces onto the bottom legs. Those are separate pieces, and I'll show you that here pretty soon. But what I will tell you, and one thing that I'm very, very concerned about, is the weight of those arms, because they're very heavy. What's it going to do to the figure? I'm going to tell you right now that my ab torso is already very loose, so it's only going to get worse over time, I'm sure. So, how I will be displaying this figure in my collection will really just be with the arms down to really save it from any kind of damage or anything. You know, eventually you could see it fall over and then knock down all the other figures in display. All that stuff could and probably would happen, so I want to kind of prevent that ahead of time and prepare and plan for that. So let's get in closer so you can take a look at that head sculpt, because I do think the head sculpt is awesome, and looks again just like Willem Dafoe. There's a close-up. Tell me that doesn't look like Willem Dafoe, right? That looks just like him. You know, a little bit wider maybe, but definitely not from that side. But straight on, man, that really looks like Willem Dafoe. Maybe I'll pop up a picture right here or something, you can see a side by side, because I really think it looks like him. Maybe it's just me, but I think it does. And then the hair is pretty cool. You get a little wave in here. There's no paint or anything in it. Let's see. No, it's all pretty just flat, little brownish type color with part in the middle. Looks good. The shirt's just all black. There's no paint to it or anything like that. The upper arms are a new piece, so that black is actually painted over the translucent blue, it looks like. And they did a pretty good job because you even get that hinge in there that's painted, so there's no worry there. All just plastic. Nice little, it's a nice mold to it because you really get that flowing water look to it. They even put in a little, why aren't you focusing? They even put in a little splash into it on there, so that's pretty cool on the sculpt of it. I like the way that looks, and then you even get another little spot right there. And then the cool splash at the elbow. Here on the other arm, same kind of thing. We don't really get a spot where the the waters come through a little wave, but it's good. It's nicely sculpted. I like the way it looks and really gives that flowing water look to it. So pretty cool. Down here at the lower legs, just standard denim. There's no wash into it. It's just kind of done in a blue denim color, whereas some of the other denim figures actually have like a nice little stone wash to it and kind of give it that little added detail on the pants. This one does not have that. And then he has brown boots, and you can see that the ankle portion there is the same color as the denim, but was painted brown to match the boots. So at least they put in a little bit of effort there, and you can see these water pieces here. Basically, they just rest right in front, whichever way you want to put them. It can kind of clip on to where it holds, but it's not going to hold forever, or I guess it's going to be pretty good. But you could just pull it off. So it's not a real clip. You could just see that the foot just kind of rests in there, and that kind of grips around the calf, the pant leg. Like so it's like that. So there's Hydro Man. Let's zoom out and take a look at the limited articulation of the figure. Okay, so to measure out Hydro Man, you can see he actually stands pretty tall at about 6 3/4 inch. So he's a very good size. You can see the only additional accessory along with the 2 feet leg water effects is the Molten Man Build-A-Figure head, and I think it looks okay. I'm gonna have to wait to see what the whole Build-A-Figure will look together. We'll see. It's just kind of done in this semi-translucent orange plastic, and then this gold is kind of painted throughout, and you could kind of see it's supposed to look like obviously hot molten, so rock or lava, or why he's gold, maybe gold. We'll see in the movie kind of exactly how they're going to do that. So the articulation of Hydro Man, so we'll get right to it. So he can look all the way down, so that is very good there. Let me try and focus in there. He can look up pretty high, so that is good. You get very tiny little bit of pivot in there, and of course full swivel for the head. The shoulders can go out pretty high, actually a little bit higher up, but that's as far as they'll go. You do get a full rotation there. On the Luke Cage figure, the shoulders were kind of janky, so you had to really be careful not to crack it. I know a lot of people broke some arms off. Doesn't seem to be an issue with mine, but be careful with that. As far as the ab crunch, you can't crunch down that far, so that is not a whole lot. Can go up back that much, not a whole lot, and it feels kind of loose, so you want to be careful with that. Again, having the arm straight out is really going to weigh it down and really going to pull that torso, because even when he's standing, he kind of wants to pull down a little bit. So be careful with that. Waist swivel there, legs go out that far apart, so they actually get really good range of motion in the legs. Can kick out that far. They go back slightly. There is an upper thigh cut there. Double jointed knee, which actually works out very good. One of the better double jointed knees, I think. No boot swivel at all, but the foot hinges down very, very tiny, like not a whole lot, because you're going to get the pant leg is going to get in the way there. Up, not a whole lot again, because again, the pant leg there, but you do get a nice ankle pivot in there. So limited articulation in the feet. Now, here's the real limited articulation, and I purposely waited till the end. The articulation in the arm. Single jointed elbows on these guys. And of course, because they're so large, naturally, of course, we would get a single jointed elbow. The issue is there's very little motion. Okay, so here is straight. That's straight. So fully bent, there it is. Did you catch the difference? Did you see it? Let's do that again. Straight out. And then bent all the way. Very little movement in that elbow, as you could see. So that's unfortunate. But again, I could see why based on how the sculpt looks. I mean, even this upper elbow portion is quite large, but again, just not a lot of articulation in there. Okay, so here is this arm straight out, and that is as far as it can bend. So again, very little on this arm as well. Now the hands, that you do get a full swivel in the hand, so that's good. And then there is a hinge, so that hand can hinge that far forward and go that far back. So decent movement in the hand. As far as the open hand on the right arm, can't hinge it that much in and back there. So again, pretty limited there. There's just not really a whole lot going. Again, it's hard to stand because with those arms out, he wants to fall forward. And then here with those water pieces, you could just see, you could just kind of put them right in front of the arm, and it actually helps to stabilize the figure. So that's actually good in that sense. And then it looks like some of these parts are kind of frosted at the end. I don't know if that's just how it looks because of how the plastic comes in. It looks a little frosted, like you could see right there, but really that's the inside of the plastic that kind of loops around. But it does kind of give it that frosted look to really give it that layered look of the water. So I actually like the way that it comes out looking, even though it's not something that I think they purposely tried to do, but it does look good. And again, you can just slide those right on out and he could still stand. So that's kind of cool. You know, when they first showed the figure, we didn't know if that's how it was going to be, if the parts were going to be interchangeable. I like that it just kindly sticks in there. Think of it like the Mysterio figure, the comic Mysterio figure, those green smoke effects, how they just sat on the front legs. That's kind of how these are. So kind of like the way they did it. And depending on how you do this, see, then you have that problem. So these aren't going to articulate and move around. So really, he can only get a standing pose with these things. Not going to do a whole lot. Now, how much does it help to stabilize the figure? And the answer is not a whole lot. So you also run into that issue again, because these arms are very heavy compared to the rest of the figure. So see, and you can see the torso just wants to fall down. So there's faults to the figure. There definitely is. I like the way it looks, but you're going to get limited use out of it. I'm sure some of you guys in figure photography can get a lot of great shots going. But in terms of your display, be careful on how you're going to do it there. You may have to just do vanilla pose to make sure that he doesn't fall over and take out all the other figures along with it. Now, one thing before we end the video is I'd like to show you a size comparison to comic. Here's the OG Pizza Spidey. So you can see he is bigger than Spider-Man. I think that's a good size comparison and size difference there between the two. So there he is. There is Hydro Man. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Are you guys going to be picking up this figure? Let me know as well. Again, I will try and respond to as many comments as I possibly can. YouTube is kind of still being weird, the YouTube Studio app. I'm still not getting notifications for all your guys' comments. Hopefully something gets fixed soon. We'll see what's going on. But again, in the meantime, I'll keep checking as often as I can to get into the YouTube and check all the comments. Go through and read. At some point, I do read every single comment. So if there's a question, I'll do my best to provide an answer or anything like that and respond as much as I possibly can. So there it is. You guys let me know down in the comments below. Did you guys like the figure? Did you guys like the video? Let me know. Hit that thumbs up if you guys did. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you guys for watching.